5 big money misconceptions that you probably already heard, but today I'm gonna spoil the truth about these 5 big money misconceptions. Welcome back, guys. It's Trevor here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be reacting and giving my criticism on 5 big money misconceptions that are commonly used, especially with people that don't know a ton about personal finance. So in today's video, I'll be going over some of my criticism and my response to all these 5. Now, this article that I'll be reacting to is called The Balance. Is from thebalance.com. I'll leave a link to the article if you do want to check it out. However, I'm just going to give you the brief main bullet points of what they're trying to go over, and I'm going to give you my response to each of these. On the first one, we have a good salary equals financial security. Now, what they're saying is when you have a good amount of pay, let's say you have a doctor, you're getting paid $150,000 a year, you're gonna have a good amount of financial security. Now, this is partly true only if you save the same amount and invest it the same amount that you can retire on, right? Anyone can have good financial security. All it takes is you need to set aside money, pay yourself first, save and invest the difference, right? So let's say a doctor makes $150,000 a year and they spend $100,000 of it away. After taxes, they're gonna be left with roughly $20,000, and they save that $20,000 and maybe invest half of that into a Roth IRA, right? Sounds good. But if another person, let's say engineer, he makes $100,000, but instead he only spends $35,000 a year, leaving him with $65,000 minus $25,000 usually for taxes. So 65 minus 25 is going to be $40,000. And let's say he invests, $20,000 of that into a Roth IRA, and another $10,000 into a bank, and another $10,000 he just has extra spend. Now, who actually did better? The engineer, because all it comes down to is simply that with your set amount income, how much you actually set aside to save as emergency fund first, and then having the rest invested into a Roth IRA or into some mutual funds or broad ETFs that track the stock market, right? So it doesn't matter how much you make. Obviously, somebody making $100,000 versus someone making $20,000, the $20,000 person, even though they can spend less, invest more, the $100,000 person is gonna have easier time investing more. But if they don't invest that much, then the $20,000 would make more and have better financial security. So the reality is, more money does not necessarily mean that you have better financial security. It only means that what you do with the money actually equals financial security. So I hope that makes sense. Now let's jump into the second point, which on the list. And the second point says everything will work itself out. So everything will work itself out. This is completely not true, right? Most things, let's say you are in a debt trap after you borrowed money to go to college, have some sort of student loans. If you don't do anything and you think that it will work itself out, that is simply not true, right? Your student loans are not going to be paid off faster just by ignoring the fact and just paying it off monthly. If you want to pay it off earlier, then you need to take action, and that action needs to exactly correspond to what your goal is. Just letting it go and just you doing nothing is not going to do anything. You'll find that very fast, especially when you go down the entrepreneur route. If you do nothing about something, you're going to get the exact results that you put in, right? So most entrepreneurs, they are entrepreneurs. They want to start a business, they want to do this, but they never actually take the action, so they end up being an entrepreneur and never an entrepreneur. All right, now on to number 3. Number 3 says budgets take too much work and doesn't really help. Now, this is by far the biggest myth on the list so far, and I'm just gonna put it this way. Budgets are definitely not a waste of time. I use a personal budget myself, 25% for taxes, 50% for investing, and the remaining 25% I get to spend and reinvest inside of my business. So having a budget is absolutely crucial. Just imagine you making $5,000 a month, but you just spending all of it on a new car, on some new gadgets. You're just spending all the budget, and at the end of the year, you actually owe tax. And guess what? Most of the things are not tax deductible, meaning you will have to find some way of coughing up that money to pay Uncle Sam, and that way, and without a budget, it can lead you into a very, very bad situation, and you'll feel like even though you're making 100,000, you're getting nowhere. But on the other side, when the same person making 60,000 a year is using a budget, they can see the money progressing, their net worth increasing, and their money working for itself. And in that way, having a budget and diversifying into the budget of 5 different ways. And one of my great friends had taught me this 5 pillars. So you have 1, which is giving, spending, investing, saving, and also retirement, right? All these are just 5 pillars. If you split your money into all these 5 pillars, your money will split equally. You have an excellent budget, and you won't have a mental breakdown when you have to file taxes at the end of the year. And on number 4 on the list, we have I can start saving for retirement later. Well, technically, this myth is correct. You can start saving for retirement later. However, I read a book by Dave Ramsey. I don't remember the exact title of it. It showed a chart of somebody named Ben, another person named Arthur. I'll put this on the screen if I do find it. And it's basically, the main gist of it is Ben starts investing $2,000 or $1,000 a month every month when he was 18 all the way till he's 24. But on Arthur's side, he doesn't start investing until he's 30, and he invests $2,000 every month all the way until he's 60. So Arthur actually puts in more money, but Ben puts in less money and also has more time to grow. And guess who made more money when they're both 60? Ben did. The power of compound interest at its finest right there. Ben, even though he put in less money, he started earlier, had a 12-year time for the money to grow and keep compounding itself. And when they're both 60, Ben, while investing less, had more time on his side and actually had a higher net worth on his portfolio compared to Arthur. So technically, you can start investing for retirement. It's better to start now than never or later. So the faster you start, the more time you have to allow time to help you compound for you. So I started investing. I opened my first mutual fund at 12 years old, and I had it for almost 6 years now. I'm currently 18. So over those 6 years, I did have I believe I got like a 35% return. But with that time given, those 6 years, my money compounded. Even though it wasn't a lot, my money kept growing. The shares paid dividends, the dividends bought more shares, and on it goes. And eventually, even if I set it and forget it now, I think the portfolio is at 2.1K. So if I leave it all the way till I'm 60 without dropping a penny on it, I think I'll still have 30,000 when I do plan to take it out at 60. I will be taxed, but that's another story for another day. So ultimately, you should start saving for retirement as soon as possible. Don't wait on this, because when you start now, you're gonna have time. You can leverage time to help you compound your interest, compound your dividends, and have a higher net worth over time. Now, the last one on this list is gonna be, I don't need to worry about my debt. Now, before we jump into this one, make sure you smash the like button. Thank you so much for staying this far inside the video. It really, really warms my heart that you guys watched through these all the way. And let's jump into why I don't need to worry about debt is completely wrong. This kind of correlates back to number 2, which is everything will work itself out. But if you don't worry about that, It depends on what debt actually, right? If you buy real estate, then they're good debt because you can, if you find a good cash flow property, you can go ahead and pay that off every single month, have new tenants in case another one gets out. That is considered good debt, right? Bad debt is was I call credit card statements that are not paid off, credit card balances. There we go. Student loans. That doesn't actually increase your net worth, okay? Right? Those are considered bad debt, and you do want to pay them off as soon as possible because of the high interest rate on all these like credit cards, all the way up to 25-35% in APR on all these credit cards. Whew. That was it for all these 5 common myths for the 5 biggest money misconceptions. If you found any value in this video, drop a like on this video and subscribe. If you do have any other video ideas or other articles that you want me to go over and react to, leave them down below inside the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.